Hey guys, so I wanted to kind of walk you guys through filling out a diet requisition form. Now, this is not really going to be something that CNAs do. This is more nurses and people who work in dietary. So I just wanted to walk you guys through it so you guys kind of know the differences between certain things and what is on here. Just to give you guys an idea. So obviously I will fill out one just so you know how it should look, but you can have it for a new admission, a change in the diet, if you need like a dietitian to come and do a consult for maybe a change in diet, or if the person is being discharged. Obviously you would have allergies listed in this box, and then these are going to be the nutrient content. So you have your regular diet, no added salt, 3 grams of sodium, 2 grams of sodium, your CCD or consistent carbohydrate diet, renal diet, which is obviously for people who have kidney issues, and then you have fluid restrictions, and then the dietary total is going to be the total from their tray. So the nursing total is going to be what is available to give to the patient after they've had their meal trays. Now, not everybody who is on a renal diet has a fluid restriction. It just depends on the person and if they're retaining fluids. Just an FYI, because a lot of people tend to think that just because somebody is on a renal diet, that means they must have a fluid restriction too. A lot of them do, but not everybody who is on a renal diet is also on fluid restriction. Then you have your gluten-free diet, low fat, low cholesterol, a cardiac, which is low fat, low cholesterol, and no added salt, lacto-ovo-vegetarian, finger foods. And if you don't know what finger foods are, it's basically, a lot of people use this in the memory care setting just because when you have wanderers, people who tend to wander, it's easier to feed them with finger foods because it's something that they can pick up and they can walk around with. And then you have NPO, which is nothing by mouth. So a lot of the trach unit patients where I work are NPO because they have the trach and they have like a G tube or a PEG tube and they get fed that way. Not all of them are NPO. A couple of them do actually eat, but a majority of them that are on the trachs are NPO just because they have the trach tube and then they have the PEG tube or the G tube. And then you have your textures over here. So, sorry, you have regular. Mechanical soft is basically like blended up. It looks disgusting. Dysphagia ground, and then you have puree, which is like baby food. Pureed food is basically like baby food. It looks exactly like baby food. Dysphagia ground, I'm not exactly sure if that is the same as mechanical soft or if it's ground up even more than mechanical soft. And just so you know, these requisition forms can be different from facility to facility. I don't have experience with the dysphagia ground, even though I personally have dysphagia. I have been on a mechanical soft diet, but never a dysphagia specific diet. And then we have the thickened liquids, which I have another video talking about thickened liquids and why people might need them and demonstrating the differences in the consistencies. So you have the honey thick, you have nectar thick, and then you have the pudding thick, which is the thickest. If you're going to put somebody on a liquid diet, then obviously it's either clear liquids or full liquids, and then how many hours that person is going to be on the liquid diet for. So now over here, portion adjustments. Small portion, they might give that for somebody who is overeating, or large portions. Some people who are obese request large portions, or like we have people at the facility I work who request double protein or an extra portion. So it just all depends on your facility. And then the dining location, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you need to write where they're going to be. That could be in the main dining room, the dining hall, if they eat in their room, if they eat in a unit-specific dining room, then you would write that down here. And then adaptive equipment, there's a lot of different adaptive equipment that you can put on somebody's utensils or on their plate itself. You can have plate guards, you can have like extenders that will make the fork and knife handle larger or wider. It just depends on what they need. If they need a supplement, you would put that here. So the supplements that I see a lot are like protein shakes, or they have like Nepro, which is a supplement for renal patients, or like an Ensure, something like that. And then if the person is a tube feeding, you would need to write down which formula they're on. There's a lot of different formulas. They have a Nepro formula, there's a Jevity formula, there's a lot of different types of formula. It just depends on the person and their nutrition needs, the rate, and the route of administration, whether it's a G-tube or PEG tube, or however they're getting their tube feeding. And then TPN is total parenteral nutrition, and you would write that down there. So then if you have a request for services, you would request a registered dietitian for a nutrition consultation, either because of a change in condition or another reason. Food preference review, just in case, you know, they liked something and then suddenly they don't like it anymore. Obviously, you need to let dietary know, or else they're going to continue to send it. If a family, there's a family meeting, maybe about, you know, maybe the family is concerned about their loved one isn't eating as much as they used to, or maybe the facility is worried and wants to let the family know that their family member is not eating as much as they used to, or refusing to eat. And then you have other, and then any comments that you need to make. And of course, then you have your resident information with their name, room number, bed number, medical record number, and then the signature of the nurse, date and time. So I'm going to fill this out and show you guys just a sample of how it should look when it's all filled out. Okay, so I just made up a random person and we're gonna talk through this. So it's a new admission, and if you don't know, NKA stands for no known allergies. I made him a low-fat, a low-cholesterol diet, regular texture. I didn't fill out any of these because he's not on a liquid diet and he doesn't need thickened liquids. I did put portion adjustment to double proteins, and for the dining locations, maybe for breakfast he likes eating in his room. For lunch he wants to eat in the main dining room, and then for dinner he's tired, so he'd rather eat in his room. And for supplements, I put down Nepro with every meal. I'm not saying that everybody who takes Nepro would have Nepro with every meal, but I just put it down. I'm requesting a nutrition consultation from the registered dietitian because he's a new admit. And then in the comments, I put that he dislikes fish and green beans, which is something that dietary would need to know, so then they don't put that on his tray. And then obviously his name, Roger Rabbit, room 1, bed B, his medical record number, signed, dated, and with the time. So it's really that simple. I just wanted to give you guys kind of a little bit of information about how to fill these out in case you ever need to at work. And like I said, this is more for nurses than for CNAs, because CNAs don't really have anything to do with ordering consults or ordering dietary changes and things like that. But CNAs can let somebody know, and should let somebody know, if the resident tells them that they don't like a specific food, or, you know, they don't want a specific food, just so then in future, like I said, dietary can adjust their trays accordingly. And if they don't like fish and green beans, then they shouldn't be getting fish and green beans on their tray after dietary has been notified. So with that being said, that's all I have for this video. Again, just how to figure out diet requisition forms, how to fill them out. So with that being said, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys again soon.